Good morning, boys and girls. It's Miss McIntyre. We are going to continue creating our nonfiction book. So by now you should have your title page and your first two sections done. We're going to continue with our third section. So I have my copy up of my nonfiction book. So when I scroll down, I should be able to see everything that I've done so far. So you're going to have to open up your previous document. So I have my title page. I have my title of my animal. I did frogs, and I chose to write all about frogs. You have your name because it's your book. You're the author. And if you wanted to, you could add a picture. You do not have to do this part if you do not want to or don't know how. Then we scroll down. We have our table of contents. My first one was habitat. Second was talking about what frogs eat, so I titled it lunchtime. Today I'm going to be working on my third section. First, I want to scroll down. You want to make sure you have all your sections on here. One was habitat. I only talked about where frogs live. I included a bold word. 2, I was talking about what they eat, so I labeled it lunchtime. And then since I need to do 3, I'm going to scroll this back up to the top of that page. Now, I'm going to look back at my writing notes from day 3. So you're going to go into your Google Classroom with all of your documents and pull up your day 3 of note taking. I have right up here, it says day 3 writing note taking. I wrote mine about how frogs grow and frog babies in the adult form. Now pull up your day 3 of your note taking. Remember, you can pause this while you're pulling that up. Once you have your notes up, this will be your section, your title, or you can change it as long as it matches with what you're talking about. I'm going to keep it the same with how frogs grow. I could also label it frog life cycle, frog babies, adult or babies to adults, however you want to label it. Now you might not be talking about how your animal grows on this section, that's okay. Whatever you are talking about, make sure it's staying on that same topic. As I'm talking about how frogs grow, I'm not going to talk about what they eat today or what they look like. Or actually, I might talk about some of what they look like. But I'm not going to talk about habitat. I'm going to talk about how they are growing. So I did that with section 3. Now I'm going to title it the same thing as I put into my table of contents, how frogs grow. Because if I'm reading this and I looked at my table of contents and I turned to that chapter and they weren't matching up, I would be confused. Now I'm going to type my text. I'm going to go back and look at my notes. So here was the notes that I took about how frogs grow. I'm going to look over them and see what I want to start with. Well, when I'm thinking about frogs grow, they grow from their eggs to tadpoles into an adult. So I'm going to start with the beginning. About frogs lay eggs. Now remember, I'm going to put these into sentences. If you need to, you can go back and refresh your mind and read your books over again about your animal. But please do not copy exactly what the text in your book says. Try to come up with your own way of saying it in your own words. I'm going to talk about frogs laying eggs. I'm going to erase this. I have my indent is already in there. Frogs lay eggs in the water. As they grow and change, they live on land. Right? Was they start off in water, and as they grow, they turn into a land animal. They go from eggs to tadpole. Tadpoles have tails. I'm going to write down that. Frogs, which I'm going to say for example, frogs start out as, and this is in one of my notes, an embryo, and I'm going to put that in bold. Embryo. And this is a frog egg. After the frog egg, what does it turn into? tadpoles. Then they become tadpoles. Now, when they become tadpoles, so they only live in water, tadpoles have tails. And remember, you don't have to include everything in here into your book, but you should have at least around 5 or more sentences, especially going into 3rd grade. You're going to be writing a lot more. So start practicing, building up, making more sentences, making them details, really explain and make sure it makes sense when you're teaching the topic. I'm going to put that they grow lungs and legs. So they become tadpoles. They develop, ooh, that's a big word, lungs and legs lungs and legs, period. After a few months, they lose their tails. I'm going to actually add this part on there. I like the tadpole breathes underwater, then I can add gills. Then they become tadpoles. Tadpoles have gills. I'm going to make that bold. So as you see, it's okay if you go back and add more sentences. So I made this sentence first, and then I'm like, wait, I wanted to add more. Tadpoles have gills that help them breathe underwater. And then I'm going to change it soon. They develop lungs and legs. Finally, they become an adult frog, period. Okay, so here you can see I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8 sentences. And I have 2 expert words that I put in bold, so I'm going to add those to my glossary. Now you can always go back and look, was there something else you wanted to add in there? I could even do bold for tadpoles because somebody might not know what tadpoles are. So I'm going to click the bold. So I got 3 expert words in there that relate to frogs. Here, I'm going to put, I like that since I talked about frogs, the tadpoles living in the water, I'm going to put adults live mainly on land. Oops. And I want to put it right before here. Soon they develop lungs and legs. To prepare for living on land, period. There we go. Now I'm going to go to my glossary. I'm going to start with embryo. Remember, you can start any box you like to. I'm going to start here. I'm just going to keep on going down. Embryo. And I said an embryo is a frog egg. My next one I remember was tadpole. If you don't remember what yours is, you can go back to your story. I know tadpole was next. And that is a baby frog. I think my next one was gills, but let me just go double check. Gills, yep. Gills. And I wrote down in my notes what gills are, and we can put them into your own word. Helps them breathe underwater. Helps them breathe underwater. And it's okay if it goes to the next page. That's fine. Okay. I could even, since I have space there, I can move these up a little bit too. Okay, so now you've completed day 3. So you can see I already have a good amount of words in my glossary, expert words that people might not know when they read my book. I have my 3 sections done. Make sure you're going back and rereading it to make sure it makes sense and you didn't like miss up on a word or anything like that. No spelling since we're doing it through the computer. It has the autocorrect, but make sure you're going back and rereading it. Have your indent. This is when we start a paragraph. So start on your section 3 today. And when you are done, please upload it. Please make sure that you have the first and second sections on there as well in your table of contents. So you're just uploading yours from your previous work and you're going to continue. If you're using your old one, you should already have all this other stuff done. Your title page, your table of contents, your first section, second, and third. Now, the next time I meet with you guys, we're going to finish our 4th section. And our 5th one, we're not going to do. We're just going to have that as our glossary. So I could put for here, glossary. So we have one more section left, boys and girls. If you have not done your other sections, 1 or 2, please go back and do that first before you go to section 3. You can go back and watch the videos of day 1 and 2 of creating our nonfiction book. And remember, we're using our notes from our note-taking that we did a couple of weeks ago. So pull those notes back up so you can have those to help you write your books. I'm here if you have any questions. Have a great day. Bye, boys and girls.